like you're awake.
Yep, yep.
I prepared some breakfast today. Please have a taste.
It's nice to have you here so we can eat something yummy.
Well, now that I've recovered from Elazar, I'm feeling better than ever. I can even prepare 4 or 5 meals a day now.
And Paimon bets they're all delicious.
Oh, by the way, someone brought a letter for you after you went to sleep last night.
Nope, Paimon wanted to read the letter with you after you woke up. So Paimon didn't open it. Alright, We're going to hold a feast at the Grand Bazaar and celebrate Sino's reinstatement as the General Mahamatra. As heroes of Sumeru.
Oh, I've also heard that you've become heroes here as well. Everyone's aware of your abilities. There's no need to be modest.
Anyway, let's go to...
Oh, before you leave, be sure to inform Master...
Ah, good morning. How do you feel today?
We feel much better. How about you?
I'm recovering well, thanks for asking.
But from the looks of it, you seem to be already busy with work again.
It's fine, I'm not that busy. The Elazar patients have recovered, as well as Hypatia. For now, I only need to tend to my Forest Watcher duties.
It seems once Irminsul started getting better, everything else started to recover too.
Yes, but there are still some residual effects. The withering is one example. Though it won't spread anymore, the existing zones won't just disappear.
By the way, we have some good news. Sino got his position back.
This news is hardly new. He had already mentioned it to me before.
Huh? You mean he was already here?
He visited once, but he was afraid of disturbing you while you were resting.
Then you probably already know all about...
Celebration feast?
Huh? But didn't Nilu say in her...
Perhaps.
Come to think of it, Sino doesn't seem like... You and Kale are both Sino's close friends.
Kale has taken over some of my tasks these days. You see, some VIP...
Huh?
Well, technically speaking, they are former VIPs. The sages involved in recent...
Huh?
Yes, he's a little weak, but he isn't injured. Lesser Lord Kusanali, in her boundless mercy, has decided to spare Azar and the other wrongdoers. Supposedly, they were ashamed of their shallow ideologies, and have decided to dedicate the rest of their lives to cultivating wisdom in... When they learned that Lesser Lord Kusanali had defeated the Balladeer and saved Irminsul, they were shocked at first, but also became happy, feeling that the sacred light guiding them on the path of discovering wisdom had begun to shine once again. As a result, work has increased for the Forest Rangers.
That sounds really exhausting.
There's nothing we can do, but that's another topic. Back to the matter at hand. Are you two planning to head out?
Ah, right! We're here to request permission to head out. Would that...
You've recovered well.
Yay!
Well, there won't be any problems if the feast starts at that time. Everything is...
Mr. Zubair, I finished tallying things up here.
Is a simple reply really...
Oh, it'll be fine.
I was thinking...
Hey, Nilu!
Traveler, Paimon!
We got your letter, so here we are!
You're the best. The other guests haven't even replied yet.
Huh?
Yeah, I had someone deliver letters to...
Look, I get it. Sumeru is in an extremely important period. Nilou is Sumeru's number one.
If you consider enjoying Nilou's dance as having good, because Paimon thinks everybody.
That's right. We all think Nilou is an absolute favorite among those of us who frequent the Grand Bazaar. For Outland, Master Zubair. Let's have a vote for the most outstanding audience members next time.
Nonsense, it is not. But indeed, we could try giving gifts to people with particularly good taste. I heard.
Ooh, good idea.
You guys are so funny.
There's always a lot going on.
Yeah, and that's why I love it here. Traveler and Paimon, could you help confirm if the letters were actually delivered? If for some reason they didn't receive the letters, then please tell everyone that there will be a feast here.
Yeah, we can also check out how everything in Sumeru is going now.
When I wrote the letter, as for Sino, I'm not too sure. As for Dunyarzad, I just hope she's feeling better.
Okay, got it. Let's go, Traveler.
Race you!
We haven't seen Alhaitham anywhere. Let's ask. Hey there, have you seen Alhaitham around?
Yes, it seems Scribe Alhaitham has gone to the House of... But you're already the second group of people I've seen looking for him today. He must be...
Oh? Who else was looking for him?
Mr. Cave was just here asking about him. You wouldn't Don't tell me everyone's here looking for gossip about the sages.
No way.
Ah, I see. Sorry, I thought maybe every...
Alhaitham should be around here somewhere, right? Oh, he's over there! But it looks like he might not have time for us.
Just put down that worthless book and tell me.
This is not just some worthless book.
It doesn't matter. It's probably just another thing that you used your authority to get your hands on anyway. Just put it.
Oh, you sound surprised. I thought you would already know the inside story.
Would I be here asking you if I knew? You're the scribe, not me.
Well...
Huh?
Oh, don't sound too surprised now. You're the renowned Kaveh, light of the Kasharawar. Besides, as a master builder and craftsman, chances are you'll be appointed as a sage too.
Why do I feel like you don't really mean it?
Huh. What makes you say that? Why would you question my heartfelt sincerity?
Maybe it's because you've never said anything good about me before.
Yeah, well, I share a similar sentiment, and anyone who knows you as well as I do would surely do the same.
Oh, you... See? This is why I hate discussing anything with you. Your ridiculous and arrogant attitude always gets in the way.
It seems that you really can't stand my personality.
Ha! What was...
Well, then you might as well move out of my house.
Are you threatening me? Stooping to a new low, I see. Ugh, and don't change the subject. You, a sage? What a joke. The academia might as well just close tomorrow.
Are they having a fight?
Forget what's going on with the academia. Haven't you been busy with your construction project? Tell me, when are you going to build yourself a mansion?
Don't get me started. I get angry just thinking.
So, what great building did our master architect work on this time?
Like I need to tell you. Keep your nose out of my business.
No, I think we deserve to know.
I was in the desert for a large project, but considering Haravatat's utter ignorance of architectural and aesthetic matters, you probably wouldn't understand. Which is truly unfortunate. I can only pity the man who doesn't understand the first thing about beauty and romance. Unlike a true... hold on, wait a second.
Well, while you were out fiddling around in the desert, many people came together to save Sumeru from a crisis.
Ha! And you think I'd believe that?
Look, all you really need to know is that Azar and all his accomplices have all been overthrown.
Huh? What nonsense are you talking about?
It's no skin off my nose if you don't believe me. It's not like my Darshan was the one trying to apply for funding from the Grand Sage.
You know what? I'll ask around. I'm sure someone knows what's going on here. You're dead if I find out you're lying to me.
Oh, it's you.
We're running some errands.
Letter?
Nilu said...
If she addressed the letter to all Hatham of the Academia. I've been busy these days, so I haven't had time.
Have you always been so busy with...
Of course not.
Kainari told us they all went to train in the Avidia Forest.
That is already the best possible ending for the likes of them. 4 of the 6 great sages were possessed by their desire for power and attempted to create a new god. In order to pull it off, they even imprisoned the other 2 rational sages. To imagine such things could take...
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Feels kind of strange to hear...
Yes. It's said that when the Academia was first founded, the Dendro Archon herself established the 6 great schools, each representing one of the 6 different types of wisdom. Numerous Darshans have sprung up and faded. Only the 6 Darshans, attaching themselves to the 6 great schools, have stood the test of time and obtained permanent seats in the Academia. Now, the 6 Darshans are nearly synonymous with the 6 great schools, and the leaders selected for the schools are the 6 great sages. Among the 6 great sages, there is one central leader, the Grand Sage. Unfortunately, only the sages from Vahumana and Amorta remain now. They were imprisoned for opposing Azar, and were only rescued after Azar's...
So who's managing things in the other 4 schools now? Do they need to find someone new?
Yes. Normally, new sages are selected based on a strict set of criteria.
Oh, didn't you just say something about becoming a sage? If they pick you, then we'd have a huge connection in Sumeru.
Yes, about that. You didn't let me finish my sentence. The person in charge of personnel affairs nominated me to be the Grand Sage in place of Azar and help Lesser Lord Kusanali manage the Academia. But I refused. I'm not even interested in being one of the 6 great sages.
Oh, all right. So you...
That's not my job either. I'm only responsible for handling important affairs within the Academia before the new sages take office.
By the way, who was...
Do we look like friends?
Paimon doesn't know. That's why Paimon's asked...
His name is Kaveh. my roommate. You could say he's the representative for Ksharawar scholars. Which is exactly why he always has so many problems.
So everything that's happened recently must be a huge change for the people of Sumeru.
Such is the work of the Academia Scribe.
Well, anyway, no matter how busy you are, since you are our planner, remember to attend the celebration feast.
Alright, I'll see.
This is Port Ormos. Now where could
Is that Paimon I hear?
Huh?
Oh, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Dunyarzad! It's been so long since we've seen you!
I'm doing well. I can go as far as saying I have never been happier in my entire life. I don't know if you've heard, but Alizar has completely disappeared, and all the patients have recovered.
You kidding? Knowing them and the connections they've got, I'm sure they've heard about it. That's right. My lady is feeling better now, so I'm accompanying her for a walk.
Why do you still call me that, Dia? You've already informed my father of your resignation.
I guess I'm just used to calling you my lady. Old habits die hard.
Resignation? You mean you're quitting?
Yeah, I might start losing my edge if I keep being a bodyguard for the Homayanis.
You know that my parents and I are fond of you, and that we appreciate you
I'm not a woman that's easy. When I took this job, I had already decided that I'd quit as soon as you recovered. It's time for me to get back out there and chase that horizon.
So what are you gonna do now if you're not gonna be a bodyguard?
I want to take a risky job and put my body to the test again.
Huh? But we literally just finished one of the most dangerous jobs ever!
I know. If I hadn't joined in that plan with you, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. I guess I still get fired up by that feeling of going all out in a fight. Life is short, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of that operation. But the whole thing also made me realize that there are still many problems in Sumeru. And as a desert dweller, I'm still not completely ready to settle down on this side of the wall.
Well, I remember a friend had someone bring you a message.
You mean I'll hate them? I didn't expect him to still remember that. I thought he was joking.
We just came from talking with Alhaitham at the Academia.
Did he tell you that he suggested that I come work at the Academia?
What?
I heard that Azar and his cronies fell from power, and Alhaitham told me that...
Whoa. Paimon can't see you being anything other than a mercenary.
Me neither. But I think Dia would look great dressed up as a scholar.
Ugh, forget about it. I wouldn't last 10 seconds in there. Alhaitham probably just liked the way I worked and knew I'm good in a fight. So he's...
But you know, if you take him up on the because you're super...
The Matra have all the talent they need as long as they have Sino. In fact, I chose this job from the very
Even if being a mercenary means...
A lion has to return to the wild sooner or later. If anything, being your bodyguard has been unfamiliar territory for me.
I don't want to see you go, but...
I'm glad to hear you say... Come on, no need for the sad face. It's not like we'll never meet again. Once the whole Dendro Archon thing is settled, everything in Sumeru will take a turn for the better. That makes me happy too. But a peaceful society will probably mean less demand for mercenaries like me. Before long, we'll be...
Huh?
Well, no, not...
So, have you been in Port Ormos this entire...
Oh, did Nilu...
She heard that you were seen in Port Ormos.
Huh. It was probably... My lady has been very energetic lately.
Right, and we tend to leave quite...
So what it really sounds like is that the person on duty is always asleep.
I bet the letter's at the reception desk. I'll go check later.
No wonder there wasn't a reply. You never received the letter?
Sorry to make you...
It must be something important for...
Yes. She said they were preparing a victory feast in the Grand Bazaar.
Great!
Count me in too. But is there some sort of dress...
Since it's being organized by Nilu, I don't think she'll be too picky about it.
All right, then this is how I'll show...
The feast will be held in 2 days.
Sure.
Thank you so much for...
Oh, by the way...
The General Mahamatra always comes and goes without a...
Oh.
But last time we met, he mentioned... As for Raman, your guess is as good as mine. I only... Don't mention...
All right. It's been a while since we last visited Aru Village. Ah, there's Sino!
What brings you here?
We recovered well, and Tainari agreed to let us leave. So now...
It seems...
And Tainari is recovering well, too!
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
But why are you just standing here like a dead tree?
I'm meeting some people.
Oh!
I've already talked with Candace and the village, but you know when a...
Oh, by King Deshret's blessing, my friend suddenly appears in the desert.
Roman! And...
Oh,
Oh! Well...
Don't worry, these are our friends.
I see.
I'm doing well.
Same here. Really, I feel that my whole life has started to shine after suddenly...
Oh, tell us everything!
Yeah, you go ahead.
Alright, well, I suppose I should start by saying... I've decided to leave the academia.
What?
It's not that I've given up on being a scholar. Instead, you could say I've found... I will no longer pursue research like a typical scholar, but I have not completely given...
I can see what you're saying now.
What do you mean?
I plan to leave the academia and return to teach here in the desert.
Wow! So you want to become a teacher?
Sataria will return to support education here and teach people from the desert. She can't teach everyone on her own, but there are many of us Eremites all over Sumeru. She came to discuss a collaboration with me and hoped that I could bring her...
Yes, it's my hope that the Eremites can help me select a group of smart people with the best aptitude for teaching. I'll teach them, and after they've finished learning from me, they can go educate more people. That is the true meaning of education and the spreading of knowledge.
The people of King Deshret suffer from sandstorms, exile, and ignorance. Miss Ataria is more than welcome to come teach here. The stars have always guided caravans, thieves, soldiers, and
Oh, please. Where's all of this coming from? I'm starting to feel a little embarrassed.
You deserve these compliments. Mercenaries are accustomed to danger and don't fear death, which is why we recognize extraordinary actions. The common people...
Sataria's idea will bring much good to many people.
At first, I feared it was destined to fail. Everyone knows that as you know, all knowledge is under their surveillance and control. and very few desert dwellers are as lucky as me. But what I heard at that time has been haunting my heart, as if there were lightning bolts constantly bombarding. Sataria, you tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become. Sataria, why haven't you gone home? Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
Miss.
These words sparked something in me. I gathered up the courage to approach the Grand Sage, only to find that he was no longer at the Academia. Lord Sino—
Azar has received much-needed punishment. Though, if you ask me, it may have been too light.
Lord Sino helped me obtain permission to leave the Academia for the desert, and accompanied me here to discuss collaboration with members of the Eremites. My plan was able to go smoothly thanks to him and Rahman.
You're all doing
Aside from that, I also have some other business to discuss with Sino.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has allocated many resources to support and develop the desert. I applied for a few batches of—
That's exactly what the people here need.
Apart from this, we must be persistent about this.
This is the first time in hundreds of years. Remember these words. Here lies our faithful priest, Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration. I hope people with wisdom like that priest will rise again among the desert dwellers. Then we'll once again see the wisdom and glory that once shook the world.
Enough about us. Are you here to discuss some business too?
No, not at all. We're actually here on behalf of Nilu. Nilu wanted to write to everyone. A celebration feast will be held in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. She hopes that all of you will be able to attend. At the feast, we'll also, although, judging from your appearance, it seems you've already been—
Celebration? Feast? It's the first time.
Tainari was right.
It's rare to see—
No, not really.
Well, I still—
I'm afraid I won't— The messaging. I'm sorry for how— You and the— Please keep—
Okay, we've got all that down. Our job here is complete as—
Got it.
Today's the big day! Everybody's already here. Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
You're here.
Ah, there you are.
Well, look who finally decided to show up.
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work.
I propose that.
Nah, there won't be any speeches to—
Oh, really?
Come join us over here.
Everything looks
Wow. Whoa.
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. Everyone that
Feels kinda nice to be seen as a hero.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job. You've always...
My lady sure.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that...
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive to get.
We owe it to our abilities. And luck.
Really? Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us?
That's how I remember it too.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to formulate a plan and implement it successfully. Moreover, judging...
Yeah. It was almost like everyone played their part.
So, would you say we're good actors?
It's such a blessing that Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return to power at the Academia.
Yes! Even after being abandoned and neglected so many times, she's finally returned. Uh-huh. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories of the past. The Academia basically abandoned her because of it. This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised.
No, everything...
That's...
Something wrong?
Yeah, what's with that face?
Even if those two giants of the Academia are here, I still have to... Those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her power for the people of Sumeru. And what did they do in return? If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right, Sino?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his accomplices severely punished.
I respect our deity's decision, and won't interfere in any way. While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the...
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be...
Not at all. But every person...
Why? Because he did...
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing.
But seriously, though, I always wondered if you had some...
I did have my own motive, but it had... If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long...
By that, you mean your life working at...
Precisely.
Wait.
So, that's the only reason why you...
It's reason enough.
You've certainly got quite the...
You flatter me.
All right, then. How about you? You've already resumed...
That's right.
Will you be happy?
It's not about being happy.
Even so, keep your spirits up and try to be happy.
Thank you.
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings. No. The Grand Bazaar is lively because the people here feel happiness from the bottom of their hearts. That happiness is an emotion that'll be forever alien to those bookworms who have driven themselves insane by studying. Oh well.
Ah, there you are, traveler. Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the It's the first time I've ever invited so many exceptional people to one plate. You see, make sure you live it up tonight. I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I would really like to invite her to one of my performances. I can't explain why.
The atmosphere here is good. And I don't often I have a lot to handle these days. Otherwise, I could show you around. There's always next time. We're friends after all. This feast is pretty...
My lady, the grill...
Yes, what an amazing...
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello. Oh, I'm so happy.
Hey, less of that...
starting to droop. Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You wake up, of course. Just... It's me. You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. I was thinking about talking with you, and the next thing I knew, I had made a connection with you. The connection between us is amazing. It's like flora and the fence it grows upon. I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. I wanted to have a look for myself, so I snuck in. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, so I really haven't had any free time. Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's still one more thing I hope you can help me with. Please say thank you to every... is it not... But if I just show up, what if I end up scaring them and ruining this... Let me think about... Yes, I have. You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So... I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't blame me. Everyone! Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you the food. It's me. Huh? That voice. Nahida?
Hold up. What's going on?
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar. Interesting. Is this also a part of the feast?
No, of course not. Are you... Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Hello, Nilu.
You know who I am?
Yes. I already know every one of you. Nilu, Alhaitham, Sino, Dia, Paimon, and Dunyarzad.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body so that I could thank all of you in person. Thank you so much for rescuing me, even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk of becoming enemies with the Academia, the sages, the doctor, the balladeer, and even the entirety of Sumeru. Without you, without any of you, I would have been in a much more difficult situation. Had you not helped me to resolve the crisis, not only I, but Sumeru and even the entirety of Teyvat would have suffered great misfortune. People refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. It not only explains your identities, but also bears witness to your relationship with me. Please, allow me to present to you my most sincere gratitude.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru, and I didn't even have a chance to do anything for you.
Dunyarzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also proof of you being with me and praying for me.
You don't need to be so ceremonious. It's always been my duty to protect you.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be. We just did what was necessary and set things back on the right path.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need to be so polite with us.
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan. I hoped you liked the dance I dedicated to you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Are you awake? Did you rest well? After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton. That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon, the Sage of Gluttony. Alright, since you're awake now, she should be in the academia right about now. If you have any questions, now's your chance to ask. Hello, Traveler and Paimon. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy. So are we, and that's why we're here to talk with you. Is there anything you want to know? After recent events, the Akasha can no longer function as it used to. I've given it some thought, and have decided to shut it down permanently. But this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, I've been planning to shut it down. The Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's curiosity, and although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with... And as for the future of Sumeru, I'm preparing to the former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have yet to be selected. I will oversee the process personally. I hope that the new 6 great sages will be more focused on academics. Sumeru needs such leaders more than ever. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. All the residents of the desert, in fact. They have been mistreated for far too long. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild everything. You mean... what happened after the doctor? You guessed correctly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago. I used this point as leverage against the doctor. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it was just a bluff, he still fell for it. I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place. And as for what I exchanged for the Gnosis, the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor, as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom. He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil. In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. His future will be determined by fate. I know you Don't worry. In addition, his future will... Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine, the Nation of Justice? As far as I know, that nation operates... Does their Archon personally judge? No, there's a Chief Justice. However, as Archon... Anyway. Is that where you're headed next? As far as I know, that nation operates in a judicial system. Does their Archon personally judge people? No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon... However, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that she just likes to immerse herself in that sort of act. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict. Anyway, let's just say she's got, Are you sure? About your sister. While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your sister. Yeah! Isn't Irminsul a repository for all...
This is true in your case. However, there must be something different about your sister.
What?
There is only one possible explanation.
But nothing about this makes any sense! Wasn't this...
According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria. After the Conria disaster, she began her journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat. But just as her journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on her suddenly become fuzzy.
What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen?
All I know for sure is that somebody, for reason, and whoever it is, if they can do that...
But even that wouldn't explain...
Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the Descenders.
What's a Descender?
Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my gnosis, right? A very important part of the intel was about this world's Descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong to this world. Traveler, you are Teyvat's 4th Descender.
Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other Descenders before the Traveler, and his sister isn't even one of them?
That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first Descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly Principles. As for the other Descenders, I still need to verify their existence. And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still... There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one of them. And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew and depart from Sumeru. I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that can't be observed or recorded by this world. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate.
Paimon's sure glad we got to meet you, Nahida.
The pleasure is all mine. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me, just close your eyes, and maybe I'll appear in your dreams.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but... About these Descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.